Let's talk about Kim Cambell because she has something in common with Mark Carney.
So, as many of you are younger and may not be aware of this history, let's talk a little bit about Kim Campbell. My second least favorite politician? I'm not sure, actually. So, in November of 1992, Prime Minister Brian Mulroney was hitting an all-time low. His popularity had dropped down to 12%, which is the lowest of any prime minister in history, probably lower than Justin Trudeau was through all of this. He called for a federal election was due in late 1993, and he announced his resignation in February of 1993, and Kim Cambell entered the race to succeed him and won on her second ballot on the 13th of June, defeating Jean Charest. She was from British Columbia, and what had happened at this point in time is that Mulroney had failed to amend the Constitution, which was the Meech Lake Accord and the Charlottetown Accord, and also implemented the highly unpopular Goods and Services Tax, the GST, which we still have to this day, and it was a conservative that did it. He also signed the Free Trade Agreement with the United States and others involving Canada, the US, and Mexico that became NAFTA. There was a stubborn recession and high unemployment rate, and Campbell was fairly popular, had a fairly high approval rating in the beginning. But the important part to get to is that an election wasn't called immediately for a prime minister. She was a prime minister for almost 6 months. And we did not, we have a lot of people saying Mark Carney can't run the country. He wasn't elected properly. This is the way it works. And this is the way it worked back in 1993 as well. They called a vote. The Conservatives all voted for their leader. That leader took over as prime minister until she called an election. And I'm just going to take a look here to see when that was. The 1993 federal election happened in the fall, October 25th. So they didn't even call the election early, and it was the worst electoral defeat in Canadian history. This is when Jean Chrétien, it was the very first time I voted, so that's why I remember this very well. I voted for Jean Chrétien, and he won a majority of 177 seats. The Bloc Québécois, for I think the first time, although I could be wrong, became the official opposition with 54 seats. So why am I bringing this up? For obvious reasons. I had to live through Kim Cambell for 6 months. You guys, Conservatives, this is how it works. We had to do it back in 93, and it is no different now. The Liberals get to choose their leader. That person is going to be prime minister until they call an election, and that is just how the system works. So if you have a problem with it, maybe you want to look at electoral reform or system reform, because this is the way we do it in Canada. Just wanted to explain it for the younger ones who may not know that this has happened before, and also wanted to bring up the fact that John Turner, also a Prime Minister of Canada, did not have a seat at the time that he was elected. So for everyone saying that Carney can't be Prime Minister because he didn't have a seat, John Turner did it. It's happened before, and it can happen again. Anyway, as always, like, follow, and share, and have a great day.